Macaulay's method, which is also called as double integration method. Now in this method, in the first step, we write the differential equation for bending moment. Now the differential equation for bending moment is given as EI into d2y by dx square is equal to mx, in which mx represents the bending moment at a section under consideration. Now once we write the differential equation for bending moment, then we integrate it. So integrating we get EI into integration of d2y by dx square is dy by dx, because we know that integration is antiderivative process, is equal to integration of mx dx plus the constant of integration c1, let it be equation number 1. Now then again we will have to integrate it. So integrating again, we get the equation as EI into y is equal to integration of this entire term on the right hand side, integration of mx dx plus c1 into dx plus this second constant of integration c2. Now if we observe these two equations, we can see that in the first equation dy by dx is there. So this dy by dx represent the slope, and that is why this equation or equation of this form is called as slope equation. Whereas here in the equation number 2, y is there, which is the deflection, and that is why this equation or equation of this form is called as deflection equation. Now for any given beam, what is different is that the bending moment expression and the constants of integration. So using the known conditions, we can get the constants of integration, and once we get the constants, then these equations respectively can give us the slope and deflection for any given value of x. So the procedure has 3 steps in it. First, write down the bending moment expression, BM expression. Once we get the bending moment expression for the given beam, then we can write the differential equation for bending moment, because this bending moment expression is to be written on the right hand side, with the left hand side is EI into d2y by dx square. Once the equation is written over there, then means in the second step what I am doing is that write down the differential equation in for bending moment, means this equation. Now bending moment expression means we will have to get mx. The third step, integrate the equation twice. So integration twice gives us the slope and deflection equation respectively, and then we will have to get the constants c1 and c2. So find out the constants c1 and c2 using the known conditions. So this is the procedure for Macaulay's method. In order to explain the Macaulay's method, I have considered a simply supported beam AB. Let the span of this beam AB is L, and let it be carrying 3 point loads W1, W2 and W3 at points P, Q and R as shown. Let the load W1 is at a distance A from left end, W2 is at a distance B from left end, W3 is at a distance C from left end. Now this entire beam can be divided into number of subspans. Say span AP, PQ, QR and RB. There are 4 subspans. Now for these subspans, one feature is there. Now if I take a section in the first subspan, that is AP, let this section is at a distance x from left end. I am going to treat the left end as the reference point. So whenever I take this section, then the distance of section from the left end is going to be x. Now there are 4 subspans as I told you. Now if I take a section in the first subspan, and if I take a moment at this section, so if I take the moment at this section, then the moment of RA will be there. If I go with the left part of this beam, so RA into x will be the moment. So RA into x, it is clockwise, so I am going to treat it as positive. Mx is equal to RA into x. So it is the bending moment for the first subspan. If I take a section anywhere in this span AP, I will find that the bending moment is not changing, the expression is remaining same, but the magnitude of bending moment will change because x is a variable. So Ra into x will be the bending moment for every section in the first subspan AB. Now if I go with the second subspan PQ, then bending moment expression mx is equal to, now in this case I will have to take a section over here, and now the distance of this section from the reference point, that is the point A, is going to be x, and the bending moment at this section will be mx is equal to, there are 2 point loads now to the left of this section, one is Ra, second is W1, and the bending moment will be Ra into x minus W1 into the perpendicular distance W1 and the section, this distance is going to be, the total is A, now this distance is A, whereas this distance is x, and that is why the distance between these two will be x minus A, so it will be x minus A. Now if I go with the third subspan QR, then I will have to take a section over here, forget about the first two sections, and to the left of this section now there are three loads Ra, W1 and W2. So the moment expression will become Ra into x, so it is Ra into x minus W1 into x minus A and minus W2 into x minus B. And similarly, if I deal with the fourth subspan, that is RB, the bending moment expression is equal to Ra into x minus W1 into x minus A minus W2 into x minus B minus W3 into x minus C. So this is how the bending moment expression is changing from one subspan to another subspan. Macaulay written all these expressions, and then he observed these expressions, and he found that for the first subspan the bending moment expression is Ra into x, so it appears for each and every next subspan. Then for the second subspan, this term is getting introduced, that is W1 into x minus A. So for the remaining further subspans, the same term is reappearing. So once any value of the bending moment appears in any of the subspan, then the same value will always be there for the next subspan. So after observing all these things, Macaulay suggested to write the bending moment expression for the given beam in this format. Now he suggested to write EI into d2y by dx square on the left hand side. So I am going with the differential equation for this beam now. So left hand side is EI into d2y by dx square instead of mx, and the right hand side will be the bending moment expression. So instead of going for each and every subspan, let us deal with the last subspan, and the partitions are the vertical dotted lines which are to be used over there. Now for this first subspan, the bending moment expression is Ra into x. So for every section in the first subspan, the bending moment is going to remain same. Then what he suggested is that when you want to go for the second subspan, put a partition over there, and so this is the bending moment expression for first subspan. Now the first subspan is over, I want to deal with the second subspan, then I will have to put a partition over here. So it is the second subspan, Ra into x is already there, so write the new term, that is minus W1 into x minus A. So minus W1 into x minus A. So second subspan is over, go for the third subspan, these two terms are already there, then you will have to write the next bending moment, which is equal to minus W2 into x minus A, x minus B, sorry, and then the partition, and W3 into minus W3 into x minus C. Now, so when you want to work with the span AP, you will have to consider the equation up to here. So this equation you will have to consider for span AP. So this entire equation till the first partition you will have to consider it for span AP, or when you want to work with span AP. When you want to work with the span PQ, you will have to consider the equation up to second partition. So span, it is PQ. When you want to deal with the span QR, you will have to consider the equation up to third partition. So it is span QR. And when you want to deal with the last subspan, you will have to consider the entire equation. So this entire equation is to be considered when you are dealing with the last subspan, that is span RB. So this is how the differential equation for bending moment can be written as per the Macaulay's suggestion in partition format. And depending upon with which subspan you want to work, you will have to consider the equation accordingly. Once you understand this, then you will have to integrate the above equation. So integrating we get EI into dy by dx, that is the integration of left hand side, is equal to RA into x square divided by 2. Then the partition, now I am integrating as it is, partition minus W1 into, now here the Macaulay gave a suggestion to integrate the terms inside the bracket like this. Now integrate this term which is inside the bracket as if it is x. So what is the integration of x? X square by 2. So treat this term as if it is x, and its integration should be written as x minus a square divided by 2. Then partition, again the integration of next term minus W2 into integration of the term inside the bracket, or that bracket is x square divided by 2, which is actually x minus b square divided by 2. Partition again, and the integration of the last term is minus W3 into x minus c bracket square divided by 2, and let it be equation number 1. Integrate it again, but again here it is not a definite integral, so constant of integration should be written, and that constant of integration should always be written in the first partition only, which is the suggestion of Macaulay again. So write down the constant of integration in the first partition plus C1. Now, so here there are two suggestions which are to be followed by you. The first suggestion is that the constant of integration should be written in the first partition, and second, the term which in which bracket is there, integrate this term as if it is x. So that is equation 1. Integrating again we get EI into y is equal to RA into x cube divided by 6 plus C1x, plus second constant of integration should also be written in the first partition only. So put the partition after writing that constant, minus W1 into x minus a bracket cube divided by 6, partition, integration of this term will be minus W2 into x minus b cube divided by 6, partition, minus W3 into x minus c bracket cube divided by 6. So this first equation is the slope equation, whereas this is the deflection equation. But before that, we will have to get the constants of integration. Now next step is to get the constants of integration. Now let us consider a simply supported beam. Let the supports are A and B. Now for such beam, the known conditions are like this. We know that deflection at A is not possible, deflection at B is also not possible. That is, delta A is 0, delta B is equal to 0. So using these two known conditions, we can get the constants of integration. Deflection at A is 0, this is the first condition I am using. So when deflection at A is 0, it means that put x is equal to 0, because we are considering the point A itself, and y is equal to 0 means deflection at A is 0. So in deflection equation, and consider equation up to first partition. So when we want to use this condition, deflection at A is 0, put x 0, y 0. Deflection at B is also 0 for simply supported beam, and therefore put x is equal to L, and y is equal to 0. X is equal to L means point B, and y 0 means deflection at B is 0 in deflection equation. But here we will have to consider the entire equation because the point B is the extreme right end. Whereas if it is a case of cantilever beam, let this be the cantilever beam, A is the fixed end, B is the free end, then we know that slope at A is 0, that is theta A is 0, deflection at A is 0, so that is delta A is 0, and therefore the two conditions for the cantilever can be used like this. Slope at A is 0, put x is equal to 0, slope is 0 means dy by dx is equal to 0 in slope equation. So here we will have to substitute it in slope equation and consider equation up to first partition because point A is the left end. Second, the deflection at A is 0 means put x is 0 and deflection means y is 0 in deflection equation and consider equation up to first partition. In Macaulay's method, what is important is to write the bending moment expression. Now, in previously or just we have seen how to write the bending moment expression when point loads are acting. Let us see how to write the bending moment expression for a given beam when UDL is acting on that beam. So here I have considered 4 different cases of UDL. Now let us go with this UDL. Now the beam is simply supported beam, span is L meter, and let the UDL of W per meter is running over the entire span of this beam. Now we can see that there is only one subspan because wherever you take the moment, wherever you take the section, RA and some part of the UDL will be acting on the left part, and that is why there is only one span, one subspan you can say. As such, now see, remember it again, when there are 4 subspans, we will have to take 4 sections and there will be 3 number of partitions. If there are 5 subspans, we will have to take 5 sections and there will be 4 number of partitions. So number of partitions are usually less by 1 than the number of subspans. So here I am taking a section over here at a distance x, and as I have taken the section, I am considering the left part also. The left part is like this, RA is acting upwards. Now the span is x, so its conversion will be W into x, x by 2, x by 2, and if I take a moment over here, RA into x, this is the total distance, minus Wx into x by 2, that is minus Wx square by 2 will be the bending moment expression. Now I am going with the second case. In the second case, the same UDL is acting. The only difference is that here the UDL is starting from left end and is running to the right end. But here the UDL is starting in between, that is at a distance A from the left end. Now as such, we will have to divide the entire span into 2 subspans. The first subspan is from A to C. Say let this point is C. So A to C. And when I take a section over here, the bending moment will be mx is equal to RA into x. So that is the bending moment for this section. Now when I go for the second subspan, the bending moment over here, it will be, in order to take the bending moment over here, I am cutting the beam over here and I have considered the left part. So RA, this RA is acting over here, then this is the point C, so it is at point C, and the entire distance till this section is x. Now this UDL, if I want to convert it into point load, it will be W into this span, total is x, this is x, so it will be x minus a, W into x minus a, will be acting at a distance x minus a by 2, x minus a by 2, and the bending moment at this section will be RA into total distance, that is x minus W into x minus a into this perpendicular distance, which is x minus a by 2. So it will be W into x minus a into x minus a by 2 means W into x minus a square divided by 2. This is the bending moment expression when UDL is starting from a point other than the left end. Now here I have considered 3 point UDLs. So 1, 2 and 3. On 3 UDLs, their starting points are different. The first UDL, that is the lowermost UDL, is starting from a point at a distance A from left end. The second one is starting from B, starting at a distance B from left end, and the third one is starting at a distance C from left end. and let the UDLs are respectively W1 per meter, W2 per meter and W3 per meter. Now if I want to write the bending moment expression for this beam with this much loading, then I will have to check the number of subspans. Now this is the first subspan which is of a length A. Then there is a second subspan on which the UDL is acting, first UDL is acting. Then there is one more subspan on which two UDLs are acting, W1 and W2 per meter. There is a third subspan on which W1, W2, W3 are acting. So I can write the bending moment expression like this. When I take a section in first subspan, there will be RA only acting to the left of this section, and the expression will be RA into X. Now minus, when I go for the second subspan, I can write the partition. Here also I can use the partition, but here if I use the partition, the equation will be minus W1 into X minus A bracket square by 2, just like this one. So if UDL is starting at a point distance A from left end, the equation is like this. So it will be minus W1 into X minus A bracket square divided by 2. Now then I will have to go to the next subspan where the two UDLs are acting, and the equation will be minus 2 W2 into X minus B square divided by 2. So W2 is the UDL, new UDL. Its starting point is this point, which is at a distance B from left end. So I will have to deduct B from X minus B square by 2. So this UDL was starting from A, so it is X minus A square by 2. This is starting from B, X minus B square divided by 2. Partition, now you can tell about 3, it will be minus W3 into X minus C square divided by 2. So this is how the expression for bending moment can be written. Now there is this fourth case. Now if you observe these cases, this one and this case, the UDL is starting from the left end. Here the UDL is not starting from left end, it can start from anywhere. But the common condition or common thing in these three types of loads is that the point from where they are starting, it may be different, but the point at which the UDLs are ending is always the right end. So here the UDL is ending at right end, here also it is ending at right end, here all these UDLs are ending at the right end, but here the UDL is starting from any other point other than the left end. It is okay, but if one wants to use Macaulay's method, the UDL should continue to the right end. This is the necessary condition. UDL should continue to the right end. So here in such cases, if the UDL is ending in between, we will have to just make a small adjustment. Continue the UDL till the right end. Continue it till the right end. And for the span for which you have added this UDL, subtract it. Means show it in the opposite direction. If it is W per meter, this is also going to be W per meter. This distance is A as we know it from figure. This is B. And therefore, the bending moment expression now can be written like this. Mx is equal to. See, you will have to check the number of subspans. Instead of dealing with this beam, I am going to deal with this beam. So there are three subspans. This is the first subspan on which no UDL is there. This is the second subspan on which this downward UDL is there. And this is the third subspan on which the two UDLs are acting. So there are three subspans, three number of sections, and two partitions will be there. So the bending moment expression will be like this. RA into X, partition, minus W into X minus A square divided by 2, partition, plus W into X minus B square divided by 2. Now when we take first section over here, it will be RA into X. Second section minus W because the downward loading is there, and plus W it is because of upward loading is there. Let us consider this beam in which three moments have been shown. M1 is acting at a distance A, M2 is acting at a distance B, M3 is acting at a distance C from the left end. Now it is clear that there are four subspans. Now, so bending moment expression can be written like this. Mx is equal to. Now if it is RA, Mx is equal to RA into X. When I deal with the first subspan, then I will have to put a partition over here. Now bending moment for this moment will get added over here. So as it is clockwise, it will be plus M1. Now for the third subspan it will be minus m2. For the fourth one, that is, it will be plus m3 again. This is plus because clockwise, this is minus because anti-clockwise, it is plus because m3. This partition is there because I have entered the second subspan. So when I enter the second subspan, m1 will come into focus. When I enter the third subspan, m2 will be there. When I enter the fourth subspan, m3 will be there. So this is how the expression is written. But here Macaulay suggested to write the bending moment expression when moment is acting in this manner: m1 into x minus a raised to 0, m2 into x minus b raised to 0, m3 into x minus c raised to 0. It is only because this method is a double integration method. So when we integrate it first time, see, if we don't write this one, then if the integration of m1 is made, m1 into x will be the integration of m2 will also be m2 into x, m3 into x, if these terms are not there. And if m1 into x, further integration will be m1 into x square divided by 2, means the position of these moments is not getting reflected in these equations. And in order to show, or in order to express the correct position of these moments, Macaulay suggested to write the equation like this: m1 into x minus a raised to 0, m2 into x minus b raised to 0, m3 into x minus c raised to 0. And this is how, if I integrate it, then in the next or first integration, m1 into x minus a raised to 1, m2 into x minus b raised to 1, m3 into x minus c raised to 1 will be there, and which will be simply reflecting the position of each and every moment.